Médiacours Audio System Setup. This setup is common to all the Médiacours programs and also Student Screen Monitor Teacher. I click on the Next button. I test the slider to see whether it activates the sliders here. I test the mute and I click on Next. And here I reply yes, because the sliders on the right were activated by the slider on the left. Here I check that the default device, the default playback device, is speakers. The default device is indicated by this green circle. Then I click on the Recording tab. To make sure that you can see all the available devices, right-click here and, if necessary, tick these two lines. If necessary, you may have to enable certain devices if the device that you're going to use is not already enabled. In this case, it is already enabled. Click on the device you're going to use, the microphone device, and if necessary, set it as default. In this case, the microphone is already set as default. Click on Properties. Click on Levels. You can see a volume control slider. This is information about enabling the amplification of the microphone. Médiacours and Student Screen Monitor require the microphone to be amplified on most systems. In this picture there is a slider system. In this picture there is a tick box system which corresponds to the computer that I'm using. So I must click on Custom and then make sure that the amplification checkbox is ticked. It may be marked amplification or mic boost or whatever. Some systems require you to select the microphone manually. This is the case in this on this computer. If I wanted to use the front input, I would have to click here. In general, it's probably better to use the rear input because this is generally the default input. Some computers will select the microphone for you according to how you have plugged in. Others require you to do this manually. There are many different systems. I click on Levels again to show the volume slider. Then I click on Next here and the windows go down. In this rectangle I must find the name of the microphone device that I have selected. Here it is, Microphone Sound Max. I click on that and I click on a line in rectangle 2. There's only one line, so I'll click on that. And two volume controls have been displayed. I test them to see if they activate the volume control here, and in fact they both do, so I can select either one and then click on Next. I reply yes because the test was satisfactory. Now I must click on the line in this box which corresponds to the line selected in this box. If you have more than one microphone installed, be careful because the lines here will be identical, so you must take account of the order of the devices in this box. So In this case it's easy, it's the first one. I click here. I put on my headphones and check that all switches are on and all volume controls are set to 100%. I must now use these controls to set what I think are the optimum levels. So I'll do a test. 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 Okay, I think we'll have that one a little bit higher. And maybe this one slightly higher too. Testing again. Okay, that seems satisfactory to me. You can spend more time on this if you need to. And if you need to check the devices box, click here. Here we go. Just to make sure, for example, if you needed to adjust the amplification, etc. Now I click on Next, and I have the option of saving this setup as a configuration file. This is a good idea if you are going to repeat this setup on identical computers. In the case of the personal edition or the student web edition, this is irrelevant because you will only be installing on one computer. In this case, I'll say yes, and a configuration file has been created. And this is the end of the setup.